Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley Lanice. I make videos on spirituality and motivation, blending the two together so you can get the best benefit out of it. Let's get started. This week's video is my 9 tips on how I regulate negative energy and channel it into positivity. This video was requested by a friend who reached out to me and said that it seems almost as if I have a really good system of repelling negative energy, and they wanted to know how I dealt with negative energy and transitioned that into this optimistic mindset. And I was really excited to do this video because I never want to give off the vibe that I've overcame negative energy or that I don't have any, because I definitely do. All of us throughout our lives have to combat negative energy, so I'm excited to share with you all how I transition that so that by the end of this video, you can use these tips and regulate your negative energy that much faster. Tip number 1 is write it out. So most of you know I'm a writer and I'm writing a mermaid series, and my first tip is going to be to tell you guys to sit down and vent to paper. Pen and paper will always be there for you. That's what I love about paper, is you can talk about something that no one wants to hear about and just vent. And I encourage you to just flow, just fill up all of these pages. And if you do research on this, you will actually see that when we write, we tap into our subconscious. So if there's something going on in your life and it's giving you negative energy and you can't figure out for the life of you why, sit down. They say to set a 5-minute timer because that 5-minute timer activates the subconscious in the brain, and just write. Keep going, even if it's hard for you, even if you're like, I really don't know what to say, like write, because what will happen is you will start to uncover the themes and the reason why this is actually bothering you. It allows you to process through the emotions that you are experiencing, because processing through things is the way you get there. I am not a person who believes in toxic positivity, toxic happiness. Don't express yourself. No. Before everything, I believe in self-expression. And I believe happiness should be your anchor that you're always trying to get back to. However, though, I think it's all about the process that guides you to that happiness. It's not about never coming face to face with your negative energy. Rather, it's actually about looking your negative energy in the eyes and figuring out how you can release that, how you can process out of that. And writing is such a great way to do that. That leads me to tip number 2, which is write a forgiveness note. If a person, situation, or yourself is giving you massive negative energy, they have done studies where if you address the problem, if you address, dear Ashley, if you want to write about yourself, I am so sorry I put you through that embarrassing experience, and literally like write yourself a note of forgiveness. Or if someone else hurt your feelings, like Joe Schmo, be like, dear Ashley, you're pretending to be Joe Schmo. I am so sorry I embarrassed you this evening. I am so sorry I didn't see your worth and I didn't validate you and I didn't lift you up. And just go. Just keep typing, writing, whatever your medium is. Just release all of your feelings about this situation. And then at the end, read that note back to yourself. Because research shows when you write a note like that and you read it back to yourself, your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and what's going on. That's why actors get really traumatized sometimes in roles, because the brain doesn't realize that the role isn't really life. So you can utilize this. From my own personal experience, writing yourself a note and then reading it back to yourself releases that negative energy, and it almost opens up that version of you when forgiveness has taken place, because we act different before and after someone has said sorry. You're living with that negative energy, so releasing it, even in a forgiveness note that someone didn't even do, is going to benefit you in the long run. Tip number 3 is make a negative energy dissolving pact with a friend. What this is you and a friend agree upon that if the two of you vent to one another about a negative thing occurring in your life, you tell each other that you guys will be a safe space to dissolve negative energy. Because the problem is a lot of people don't go to friends with their burdens or their problems because they don't want to push that negative energy onto the friend. They don't want to give the energy onto the friend, and then maybe even the friend gives it back, and then you guys start spiraling into this whole negative energy cycle. Instead, blending that spirituality into this concept, when you tell your friend, we're going to make a negative energy dissolving pact, you're manifesting and laying down the foundation that, okay, what we're going to do when we vent to one another is we are going to be a safe space to let negative energy dissolve and roll off of us. It is a pact that uses a lot of esoteric concepts like putting the flag in the ground with your manifestation and saying, okay, when this occurs in my reality, this is what will happen for me. And so basically, when you tell a friend, when we vent to each other, we dissolve each other's energy. We relax each other. We don't let that negative energy attach to each other. Instead, the art of venting becomes this area for the negative energy to eliminate. I would say pick your healthiest friend that when you go to them, they do already do this. They make you feel at ease. And you can tell them, I watched Ashley Lanice's video and it was about how to eliminate negative energy. And then in return, it will turn into positive energy. And I'm really close with you. You're one of my really good friends. And I want to make a negative energy dissolving pact with you. And she said that what that means is when we vent with one another, instead of absorbing one another's negative energy, that negative energy just rolls off of us. It doesn't attach. You do not allow it to attach to one another. Instead, you're just a safe space to let that energy out. Now, I also have friends where we kind of connect on maybe a more negative level, and those kind of friends can hype up your negative energy. So don't pick a friend like that. Tip number 4 is take a meditation shower or a meditation bath. Sometimes this is all that works for me. And I know that everyone brings up meditation as a way to get rid of negative energy, but I am going to continue to repeat meditation in my videos because when I keep reminding you to meditate, your brain goes back to that and you're like, oh yeah, I haven't meditated in a couple of days. Ashley said to meditate. I'm gonna try something new and meditate in a bath or in the shower. It's reminding you that that is a technique to utilize, and I have such amazing and transformative meditations when I am in the shower. And if you read the book by Dr. Joe Dispenza, who I will link below if you don't know who he is, but he's phenomenal. He's all about using spirituality and science together to create a positive life, and his book is called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. In it, he talks about the brain waves that you get into when you meditate. Meditation shifts you a lot easier out of a negative state because it puts you in that really creative, imaginative brainwave state that we used to access when we were children. But as we grow up and we become adults, we're out of that. We get stuck in our ways easier. And so when you meditate, you are more susceptible to leaving a negative energy state. And the bath is such a transformative area to do this in. And I actually made a meditational video on a shower meditation on how you can take a negative emotion and transform it into a positive emotion, into the positive counterpart of that negative emotion. So check that out. I'll link it in the description below. Tip number 5 is if you are experiencing negative energy because of another person, think of the problem that you guys are experiencing as the source of the negative energy, not the other person. This is a big one for relationships. Say you and your loved one are fighting and there is some issue that is causing you guys to have negative energy. And let's say that the issue is something that they do. Don't attach the negative energy to them and see them as the problem. Instead, see you guys as a combined unit and the problem outside of you two, and what your goal is to work on eliminating that problem together. This eradicates the incessant urge to think I'm right, you're wrong. That's not how you should see negative energy between two different people, because when you do that, you create a hero and a villain. You create a counterpart situation where in order for you to get what you want and for you to win, they have to be wrong, and then that negative energy just locks onto that person. Instead, even if it's a habit that they are doing, work on it together. Don't make the other person the villain. And of course, everything is situational. Some instances that are like heinous acts, crimes against humanity, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a partner who doesn't wash the dishes or something like that. Don't attach that negative energy to them. Instead, realize it's this negative energy that is latching onto your partner, and you want to work together to let that dissipate. Think about it as something you guys have to work together to solve. Not you're trying to solve it, and by solving it, you're gonna be a winner, they're gonna be a loser, because that's the wrong frame of mind. And by seeing it as something you guys solve together, then negative energy is easier to dispense, because then you won't have that hostile environment that creates more negative energy. Tip number 6 is if you are feeling negative energy, maybe in class or at work, and you don't have time to eliminate it, there's a quick little exercise that I like to do, which is I tell myself to breathe in positive energy and breathe out negative energy. Positive energy in, negative energy out. And through the day, that helps me eliminate anxiety, depression, sadness, any of that. Tip number 7 is take breaks to do something fun. This is a tip that took me forever to realize, because I am someone who schedules my life. If you've seen my video on how I plan my goals, every hour I'm trying to pack it with something to do. I kind of have hurry sickness where I just want to get so many goals done throughout the day. And what I realized is scheduling in time to reward myself and to give myself breaks stops that stress and that negative energy from building up. I love to play The Sims, and I stopped myself from playing The Sims for years because I used to get on The Sims and then I used to play for hours and hours and then feel really bad because I didn't work on my book or work on my goals. Instead, don't stop yourself from having fun. Instead, plan in little moments where you can have fun, and then when you go back to the tasks that you have to do, you will feel refreshed and less negative energy will be in your aura. Tip number 8 is express, don't suppress, but feel without reacting. This goes back to my video on how to increase your happiness, but what I mean by this is a lot of people think that they have to suppress their negative energy to cultivate happiness. They think if they don't talk to people who have negative energy, they will create more happiness. They think that avoiding the negative things in their life and maybe even their shadows and trauma will cultivate more happiness, and that's not the case. In the book, Good Habits, Bad Habits, they talk about how suppressing things actually makes you think about it more. So address your negative energy. Come face to face with it without judgment. Know that it's okay. We all experience it. It's not tarnishing your soul. You can cleanse yourself of it and allow yourself to express it. And what I mean by expressing is stand in that feeling. Be with it, but don't react. So it's express, don't suppress, but feel without having to react. And this might be challenging if you have anger and you're someone who explodes and you just become so passion-filled with that anger that you want to go destroy something. I implore you to instead just allow that emotion to be seen, because our negative emotions are actually a cry for help of our bodies trying to say, I just want you to sit in this. Feel this. So you express, you don't suppress, and then you feel and you don't react. And just make notes of your thoughts and how you want to react. And when you allow yourself to sit in this feeling, and I encourage you guys to do it in the shower when you're cleansing your mind, body, and soul, then it can dissipate and just eliminate and turn into positive energy. Tip number 9 is take accountability in order to release negative energy. GaryVee talks about this a lot, and I love him. You guys know that. And he says when you take accountability for things that have happened in your life, then you find solutions. Now, some scenarios, like I said, heinous acts, crimes against humanity, I wouldn't really encourage you to put all the accountability on yourself for that. But maybe you not getting something done and you thinking it was because your friend called you on the phone and, man, why would they do that? They know that I can't get off the phone because I'm a chatterbox. You answered that phone call. You take accountability and then don't beat yourself up. That's key. Charisma on Command talks about that. Don't hurt yourself. Don't punish yourself. And think to yourself, okay, well, how can I, in the future, not allow this to happen? And I'm speaking from personal experience because every time I get on the phone with someone, I am super chatty and then I can't get off the phone. So I tell my friends, hey, it's not that I don't want to talk to you. It's that I don't have the self-control yet. So can we send voice messages back and forth? Because I have more control over that than I do being on the phone with you, bouncing back and forth. So that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for watching this video all the way until the end. Feel free to look me up on Instagram and TikTok. Ring that bell, subscribe so you don't miss any videos like this, and I will see you in the next video.